Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's broadcast of Unionville Baseball. We're here at Garnet Valley High School as your Unionville Longhorns are set to take on the Garnet Valley Jaguars. I'm Will Cunningham, alongside my two good friends, Alex Harkins and Nick Evans. And guys, this is Unionville's final regular season game. Out of conference, Unionville's won 7 of their past 8. What are your thoughts heading into today?
Well, obviously Unionville's coming into this one hot, and they're resting a lot of guys today. I expect to see guys that we don't usually see in the lineup produce for this team and maybe try and make a statement going into the playoffs.
And that statement is set to be made as Jack Reganet, the typical leadoff hitter and starting center fielder today. Nothing different for him today as he steps up. And he will face Garnet Valley right-hander Sam Shiraz. He is boasting number 16 for Garnet Valley on the mound. Grant Batch, the team's catcher. Home plate umpires hold signal. Sets up ready to, and we're ready to throw the first pitch. As Reganet smacks one in the left center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit, and it's going to split the gap, and Reganet's off on the run. Out he goes. He's turning second, heading to third, coming in with the head first slide with the leadoff triple. What a way to get things started here at Garnet Valley. Jack Reganet doing it again with his bat and speed.
Yeah, sometimes you see pitchers throwing down the middle to get things started, to start a ball game, and Jack Reganet decided to jump on it.
Yeah, that ball was peace. That's a great start for the Longhorns.
Here's the shortstop, Sean Matson, up for the Longhorns. And he takes that right down the middle for a called strike. Unionville dugout enjoying the festivities here at Garnet Valley. That's it. Hits that into deep left field. Going back, and it is going to be caught. Reganet tags from third. He'll score easily. So a sacrifice fly for Sean Matson, and in less than 5 minutes, Unionville has gotten a run on the board. It's 1-0 here in the top of the first.
Yeah, talk about a good start.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk stuff here. And now Stevie Thomas, who is getting DH duties today, trying to rest his glove for more important games coming up as he takes that pitch inside.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think you need Steve's bat in the lineup. One of the best hitters on this team.
Stevie's bat has proven a crucial presence in this lineup. He actually hit 4 triples in 6 games. His hard-hitting contact was sorely missed in the couple of games he missed earlier in the season. As he hacks at that one, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's a nice breaking ball there for the Garnet Valley starter.
Thomas set to face this 1-2. Fouls that to the back. Barely missing the home plate umpire there.
It looks like we have a lefty ump in today's ball game.
Sam Shiraz set. The front stance facing. Here's the 1-2 again. Breaking ball hammered out to deep left field. It is playable and caught by the left fielder Matt Zappolo for out number 2.
Yeah, Unionville's gotten 2 straight flyouts to left, Will, but both those balls were hit very hard, and honestly, both Stevie and Matson just missing home runs.
Stevie with the pop. Another guy who's known to have some pop, Nick Deal, back in the lineup for the first time in quite a while. In first base today is up. Takes that pitch high, ball 1.
And Deal had such a great start to this year, of course, at the home run in the second game, but he's tailed off a little bit as of late. Chance for him to prove himself today.
Swing and a miss from Deal. also had a couple doubles in a couple game stretch, mainly against Henderson and Bishop Shanahan. He had notable games, though has cooled off since then, to your point. It's mainly used for pitching up until today. That pitch is high.
But he does add a lefty in this Unionville order.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm looking at, it looks like he's the only pure lefty. Of course, Madsen, the switch hitter, would be hitting from that side as well.
Yeah, Carter bats lefty, but obviously throws righty.
Shiras, the right-hander, struggling to find command against the lefty deal. It's 3 balls and 1 strike count to him. Sets, winds up and fires. That pitch is foul to the side. Deal just missing that one. And it's now 3-2. Payoff pitch. That pitch is outside, ball 4. So Nick Deal having a good at-bat. Watching pitches fly, and he takes a 2-out walk. And up comes Drew Dalcalo, who is starting at second base today.
Yeah, interesting that he's starting at second. Certainly has a big arm. You would imagine he plays at third. But, of course, with everybody getting some rest today, they want to fit Drew in the lineup. They're going to give him a chance at a new position.
Nothing's wrong with versatility in this sport, as Dalcalo takes that pitch past his head, ball 1. Deal taking his lead off first. And Drew takes that pitch for a strike. Heard some talk that he did used to play quite a bit of shortstop back in middle school.
Yeah, I mean, when Madsen goes off to Harvard, we might be seeing Drew in that position next year.
Fouls that pitch high. Well, I'm not sure if you want to have his fielding more at third. I mean, his glove there is fantastic.
Right, and I think shortstop definitely covers a little bit more ground. But yeah, I think anything on the left side will suit Drew.
Deal takes off, pitch is grounded to third, past the third baseman, and a base hit to the left. Deal making his rake to third, and the ball gets away. Rolls over a little bit. Dalcalo gets the second on the throw.
Yeah, that's just a fantastic piece of hitting by Drew. He didn't try to do too much of it. He just kept the ball on the ground, and he finds himself on base.
And that's the approach he needs to have, because
Right.
we've seen him oftentimes swing for the fences and pop it straight up. Simpler approach is going to go a long way for Drew.
And so now with 2 runners in scoring position, Connor Brooks, the left fielder, second straight game in the starting lineup, will try to make something happen. Round that right back to the mound. And toss the first one in the inning. So Unionville does strike on a sacrifice fly by Sean Madsen, but unfortunately they couldn't get anything else to strike. Well, that's at the bottom of the first. Unionville has 1. Garnet Valley will try to answer when we come back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with some more Unionville baseball. Bottom of the first, Unionville did strike with a run in the top half of this frame. So they have a 1-0 lead as J.J. Williams, number 10 for the Longhorns, is set to make his second start of the season. Had an impressive showcase against Conestoga a little over a week ago. Pitched 5 scoreless frames. Only gave up a couple of hits.
Yeah, and he looked really good in that game. He looked like he belonged out there. He took ownership of the mound. He looked confident. And, you know, we talked after that game, will this earn him a spot in the permanent starting rotation? And you see in this game it has.
First batter he faces today, Frank Yoakum, the starting right fielder, takes that pitch high. And the second pitch is low, so it's 2-0 quickly to the Garnet Valley right fielder, number 3. JJ set from the stretch. Fires outside, 3-0.
Yeah, struggling just a little bit to find the zone 1 batter in here, JJ. One thing he was so good in against Conestoga was throwing strikes.
And that pitch is low, so a 4-pitch walk to UConn to start the game.
Yoakum.
And up comes Jack Dembeck, number 14. He is the third baseman for the Jaguars today. So Williams will work with a runner on. Taking a second, and he hits that out into center field. Jack Regaday settling under it, makes the catch. And we have one away here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Dembeck certainly squared that one up, but pretty routine for Regaday out there in center field. Just hit it maybe a little bit too hard.
And so Matt Mavelski is set to bat here.
Yeah, you know, we saw Al in JJ's last start. He certainly produced a lot of fly ball outs, so more the same today maybe.
Right, pitching to contact.
Checks over first. It's a 1-0 count to number 6 of Garnet Valley. That pitch is dribbled up foul down the right side. You know, I spoke with Coach Vallis after the game about JJ's performance, and he loved his performance, and I asked if he was going to go on the mound again. And he said, hey, listen, the table's open for anyone to get the opportunity. And, of course, JJ gets another opportunity here. Runner takes off, pitches grounded to the third base side. That's going to go in the left field for a base hit. And Yoakum runs over to third. A little hesitation out there by Brooks, and he gets there sliding.
Well, the hit and run's executed pretty well there. Runner on second base looked like he was going to stop there, and then Brooks couldn't come up with it cleanly, so he ended up taking third.
A little mistake puts runners on the corners now. Jake Potts, the starting second baseman, will try to get some runs here. Hammers that out to center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Yoakum will score easily from third. Throw goes to second. Bounced away from Alcalo. An RBI single for Potts, and it's 1-0. And it's 1-1.
Yeah, JJ getting hit pretty hard here early. Not a very great sign for the Longhorns, I'd say.
Number 29, Grant Batch, stepping up to the plate. Batch, the starting catcher for Garnet Valley. Right down the middle at the knees for a called strike.
And he needed that one just to get one under his belt here, get up in the count, and look for an out.
Went with an off-speed pitch, landed just a little bit inside. And that's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, that's a great pitch from JJ. You go to something like that a little bit lower here, get him to chase.
Checking back at second. And then fires. Foul to the back of the screen. And it's 1-2 now.
And the difference of speeds for JJ is pretty large, if I do say so. That fastball is coming in a lot hotter than the breaking.
Definitely threw him off a little bit enough to get some late contact. See what he does here with the 1-2. Pitch is foul to the top of the screen this time. Ravosky leading off second. Potts leading off first. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. That bounced, but he cannot go because first is already occupied. And so the strikeout's already complete, and we have 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, big pitch there from JJ. He got him to look at that same breaking ball earlier in that bat. Went to the same one, put it out of the zone, and got him to fish.
And that's a nice block by Sean as well behind the plate. Not to let that one get away with runners on base and secure the strikeout.
Pitcher up, pitcher now. Sam Shiras stepping up for the Jaguars. Unionville got to him in the first, but his offense has been able to answer. See if he can help his own cause as he takes that pitch inside.
Chance to put himself up a run here.
That pitch is hammered into center. Reganay with the sliding catch up there to retire the side. Garnet Valley is able to answer to Unionville's run of the first with a run of their own, however. And they tie the game as we head to the top of the second. 1-1. We'll be right back. And we're back with Unionville baseball, top of the second here at Garnet Valley High School in a 1-1 game. Sam Shiras going back to work after his offense provided him with a run to tie the game. And so he'll face Sean Reganay, Jeremy Sauerbaum, and Matt McCluskey here in the top of the second, at the very least. First pitch to Shawnee is high for ball 1.
Yeah, both pitchers will in that first inning, Shiras and Williams, got hit pretty hard in terms of contact, even though they only gave up 1.
Both gave up 3 hits in their respective pitching outings to this point, along with the runs. Reganay chops that to third. That's off play. Throw is just in time to get Reganay.
Looked close from here. They've got him by half a step.
Good throw by Jack Dembeck, the third baseman, to get the out. And now Jeremy Sauerbaum will step up for the Longhorns.
Yeah, we mentioned Jeremy is playing third, and Drew playing second. You usually see the guys at each other's positions. Jeremy, a guy who's benefiting from the rest as well. Two other players.
Jeremy loops that into shallow left, and that's going to drop. Or no. Looping to shallow short. Winded up being a ground out. Again, good fielding from the left side of the Garnet Valley infield.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he caught it in the air in there or threw him out at first. Either way, it looked like he got him.
I believe that was Drew Van Horn, the shortstop, who made that play. And so now Matt McCluskey will try to make something happen with 2 outs. The starting varsity quarterback takes that pitch high. Second pitch is on the outside corner. And so the count matches his jersey number, 1-1. And there's strike 2 right up the middle.
And that's 2 pretty good pitches he let go by. I'm not sure he'll see 2 of those good for the rest of the at-bat.
And a swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. McCluskey has to run because it was dropped. But regardless, the throw gets there in time. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Sam Shiros and the Garnet Valley defense. So we'll head to the bottom of the second now. Unionville unable to provide any offense this inning. Garnet Valley will try to take its first lead of the game when we come back. And we're back with some more Unionville baseball. Here in the bottom of the second inning in a 1-1 ball game. J.J. Williams back to work for the Longhorns. And he will face Matt Zappolo, the starting left fielder. Batting in the 7th hole for Garnet Valley. Williams gave up 3 hits and a run in the first inning. We'll try not to do something like that here in the second. That pitch is high.
Yeah, expect JJ to work from the fastball. Al and I were watching him warm up, and he doesn't seem to have great command of the curveball right now. A lot of it was high, so certainly should work with number 1, I think, to start.
Pitch is grounded shallow. Matson, this will be a tough throw. Throw gets off the glove of Deal. Backed up well by Sean Regane, the catcher, who ran all the way from the plate to cover that.
Yeah, well, I don't think that hit Deal in the glove. I think that hit Zappolo right in the helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You can see he's shaking up right there.
Bit of a tough view. Playing right along the first base line. Zappolo trying to walk it off. He is walking to first, so he will stay in the game. And that ball did go on a play, so he does advance to second. So not a good start to the second inning for the Longhorns.
Yeah, tough one. Just a little dribbler. No one's really going to make a play on that. But you can at least make sure he doesn't get to second.
Matson had to make a throw on the run. Not only did he miss Steele, He missed him in the worst way possible. And now here's Drew Van Horn. Will show bunt, and it goes behind him and Regane for strike one. Van Horn will attempt to get Zappolo to third at the very slightest, with Logan Nelson on deck for Garnet Valley. It's a good off-speed pitch for strike one. Was caught on a miss by Van Horn. Probably was a changeup there. Williams setting the stretch. Checking back on Zappolo and then fires. That pitch is grounded past Williams. Matson misplayed it. Bounced off his glove. And so another error on Matson's part. Zappolo gets to third on that. And there's runners on the corners now with nobody out.
Yeah, it looked like Matty tried to play that on a short hot and picked that one right out of the ground, but came up on him a little bit there. At the very least, at least he's able to keep that one in front and not let a run score.
So here is Logan Nelson. Takes time. Nelson, the starting center fielder, will work with runners on the corners in a 1-1 game. Nobody is out. Williams working from the stretch, and he calls time again. Interesting, he called 2 straight times. Hopefully he is ready this time.
Yeah, might just be trying to get in JJ's head a little bit with the pitcher who is already struggling.
That first pitch is inside.
I think the only thing you can ask for if you're JJ is to just throw some strikes and get your outs with your defense.
JJ taking his time firing. That pitch is grounded to the gap. Matson's got it again. He'll throw to first, and it gets away from Deal. And so everybody moves up a base.
It's probably better for Matson to just eat that one. I know you want to try and get as many outs as you can with a big inning already brewing for Garnet Valley, but, I mean, Sean did take a little while to throw that baseball and then tried to fire it over there and did so inaccurately.
Zappolo scored from third. Van Horn got to third. Nelson got to second on the third straight throwing error by Sean Matson. And so with nobody out, the leadoff man, Frank Yoakum, will step up for the second time in as many innings.
Yeah, not you want either. You know, this is the bottom of the order that's doing this for Garnet Valley.
Yoakum singled his last time up. And a good hard contact off JJ. First batter shows bunt. Gets one down. Sauerbaum's going to have to throw to first. A beautiful play. It does result in a ground out. But nonetheless, Van Horn able to score from third on the sacrifice. And it's now 3-1 Garnet Valley.
A little bit of a safety squeeze there by Garnet Valley. Good play, though, by Jeremy. We were wondering why he was playing in a new position. I guess that's why.
Was able to charge it as quickly as he possibly could. Did not have a play at the plate. Van Horn was practically already at the plate by the time he got to the ball. Chose to go with the most surefire option possible, and it results in an out for the Longhorns.
Right, good decision making from Jeremy. That was the key of that play.
Here's Jack Dembeck as Nick Deal plays in. And so does Sauerbaum. Both the corner infielders are in. Delcolo and Matson, however, are in normal position. As the 1-0 is is inside. And that pitch is outside and in the dirt. JJ struggling to find his command here. And I guess there's the strike we've been hoping for. Williams went to the fastball there for that one.
Yeah, good to see JJ back on the right side there with a strike.
Grounded to second. Alcalo's going to field this. He'll throw to first to get the out. Nelson scores from third, however, and it's now 4-1.
But again, it's throwing the ball in the zone there. Guys are going to hit it, but you're going to get outs as well. Not going to find holes every at bat.
And so with nobody on, Matt Mavoski steps up for Garnet Valley. Williams fires in there for a strike. Big swing and a miss. And it's 0-2 now. Williams one strike away from getting out of this one. Went to a changeup there, and that dropped just below the zone. It's now 1-2. That pitch is hammered out to left. That's going to be caught. A diving catch by Regaday out in center field. Doing it again with his glove. And he retires this side on a magnificent play out in left center field. Nonetheless, however, Garnet Valley strikes, adding 3 runs and taking a 4-1 lead as we head to the top of the third. Unionville will try to strike back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the third here at Unionville Baseball at Garnet Valley High School. Currently a 4-1 contest between the two clubs. Sam Shiras going back to work. He'll face the top of this Unionville lineup. Jack Regaday will step up to the plate for the second time today. The first time he was up, he had a triple to left center field.
Yep, so far he's been showing up at the plate, and we just saw in the field. See if he can continue that.
First pitch is high for ball 1.
Yeah, Jack, I mean, from his perspective in this game, has basically been perfect so far. Triple in his first bat and then a couple phenomenal plays in center. That's really all you can ask for number 7.
That pitch was in the zone for strike 1. of a Kirby style pitch, didn't land in the zone. And it's now 2-1. Fouls it back. Reganet all year well known for not just his speed, but also his contact. Has posted a batting average well above 400 this season. Which is looped out to left field, and it's caught for out number 1. Sabalo making the catch. And now Sean Matson will step up.
Matson just missed going deep to left field his first time up.
It did result in an RBI. It was a sacrifice fly as Reganet scored from third on that hit. But of course nobody is on, so Matson, if he wants to contribute to the offense here, he'll have to get a base hit. And that first pitch he faced hit the plate, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Grounder to first. And it's played by the first baseman. He'll touch the back himself for out number 2.
Yeah, that ball took a pretty weird hop. First it bounced high, and then it kind of just hugged the ground for those last couple bounces. Nice play by the first baseman.
Matt Mavolsky, despite the hop, was able to field that perfectly clean. And now there's 2 outs for Stevie Thomas. Right down the middle for strike 1. Went to the fastball there. There's a hammer shot out into deep left field, but not deep enough as Salloway makes the catch. And the side is retired. So the Longhorns go 1, 2, 3 as Stevie barely misses it again. And so we'll head to the bottom of the third and a 4-1 Garnet Valley lead. And we're back with some Unionville baseball. Bottom of the third inning. Garnet Valley boasting a 4-1 lead over the Longhorns. J.J. Williams will go back to work after he was knocked around last inning for 3 runs. Ironically enough, were all due to errors on Sean Matson's part. Trying to get a fresh start this inning, he'll face Jake Potts, the second baseman. And he'll start with a 1-0 count. He sets from the stretch and fires as it's fouled back to the top of the back of the screen. JJ seeming to have decent command of his fastball.
And that's a good sign because last inning he was a little bit all over the place to begin.
Williams taking a lot of time between pitches. Potts said I had enough and I'll step out of the box to keep myself fresh. And so here we go again. Williams sets and fires. Nice swing and a miss. Good high pitch from Williams, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, better from JJ.
Looped out to Shaw's second. Drew Carlos settles under it. And he makes the catch for the first out.
Yep, just got to keep doing that, giving him pieces to take care of, and JJ can maybe start to get through some innings in this one.
And now Grant Batch, the starting catcher, takes that outside. Second pitch is low for ball 2. And he fouls it off to the trees. Decent contact, but he obviously was a little late. Unionville fielders not playing much of a different scheme other than the usual. Everyone where their respective positions usually stand in the field. No shifts, no gimmicks. A little confusion there from J.J. Williams and the home plate umpire. Rounds that to short. Matson fields this cleanly and throws it high and over the glove of Deal out of play. And Bosch will get the second, and that's the 4th error of the day for Sean Matson.
Yeah, this is really, really uncharacteristic of Sean. You hope that, he just doesn't let it get to his head. Obviously, like you said, 4 errors already in this ball game. He's normally, outside probably Regany, maybe the most sure-handed glove Unionville's got out there. And, yeah, he hasn't been what we're used to seeing so far today.
Certainly ironic. He did field that perfectly cleanly. And now a runner on second for the pitcher, Sam Shiras.
Didn't really, rush the throw either. He fielded it cleanly, took his time with it, but just airmailed it to Deal.
Yeah, maybe just thinking about it a little too much that time.
That pitch is low, close to the dirt. Regan able to pick that up cleanly. And there's strike one. Right up the middle. JJ going back to the fastball. A foul tip for strike 2. So JJ 1 strike away from securing out number 2. And that pitch hits Shiras. And so, after being just 1 strike away, puts another runner on. And now there's 2 on for Matt Zappallo.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of base runners, Garnet Valley, but not as many hits that equal that number. But things like that, walks, hit, batsman errors.
Colin Simmons, number 5, will be a courtesy runner over at first for the pitcher, Shiras. He'll come back to the bench and try to warm up for the next inning. Keep his legs fresh. And there's a foul ball. Zappolo kick-started what was Garnet Valley's 3-run outburst in the second inning. There's a swing and a miss. And that actually was strike 3. Strikeout number 2 for JJ. Sorry about that. And so now with 2 outs, Drew Van Horn, the last hope for Garnet Valley to build on their lead this inning.
He reached on an error in his last time up.
Won't need a fielding mistake this time. He rips it down the right field line. That's going to be extra bases. Scoring from second is Botch. Over to third goes Simmons, an RBI double for Van Horn. And it's now 5-1 Garnet Valley.
Yeah, that's the first time that hill in right field has come into play. Very interesting in right field. We have a hill before the fence there. May have helped McCluskey out a little bit.
Kind of reminds you of Towles Hill.
Right,
but the Astros used to have that.
But in right field, yeah.
Nelson, the right fielder, takes it outside. That pitch is hammered out in the shallow right field. McCluskey coming in. He didn't see it, and it drops for a base hit. And that will score in 2 runs as both Simmons and Van Horn come in to score. And so a 2-run single. It's 7-1 Garnet Valley.
Yeah, certainly a playable ball there for Matt McCluskey. It looked like just took a little bit of a wrong foot right when that ball got near him. Landed just to his left.
Delcala was there as well, and now Frank Yoakum with the runner on first will step up. Swing and a miss. Pitch close to the dirt there.
And that pitch almost hit him in the feet.
Tried to do a little too much there in the midst of Garnet Valley having some momentum here in the third. Williams checks back Nelson. JJ looking to get out of this one, in which he gave up 3 more.
I believe only 2 were earned, one of them being Matson's error. He's only allowed a few earned runs today, Will.
I believe all 3 runs in the second inning were unearned because all 3 runners reached.
Right.
And that pitch is inside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. High. And Williams not looking too sharp despite having 2 outs here. Definitely can sense the nerve on the mound. He'll try to get out of this one. He's got a 3-1 count. That pitch is way outside. And scratch that. Now it's 3-1.
Going to be interesting to see if he goes back out there in the 4th inning, considering all the pitches he's thrown this frame. Not to mention the runs, so.
More specifically, how shattered is his confidence as Yukon takes time. I mean, Nick, what do you think about all this? Do you see JJ coming back in the fourth?
I mean, heading into the playoffs, they may want to
A hit and
try
run,
and
well
innings,
executed, a
but-
base hit in the right field for UConn. And because Nelson originally took off, he was able to get to third on that. And so the inning continues for Garnet Valley. Runners on the corners now for Jack Demback.
Yeah, I was going to say they might sort of let him try to eat some innings headed into the playoffs so they can have, the rest of their guys pretty fresh. But, I mean, he's really getting smacked around here, so.
Thankfully, this game does not play into the conference standings, which are the most important standings for the Unionville Longhorns as they head into the playoffs. As that pitch is fouled out into the trees.
It'll be interesting to see if they do decide to take JJ out, if they throw in a guy that we've never really seen before on the hill, give somebody else a chance. As Nick said, maybe you want to save your main guys for the postseason.
We have seen a number of guys pitch throughout the season. And taking off from first is UConn, and because there's a runner on third, Regane decides not to take the risk. JJ really struggling to find his command. That pitch soared out of the zone. Regane had to stretch over to get that one.
Again, just try and throw some strikes here if you're JJ and get out of this inning.
Another foul ball to the trees, and he's one strike away from getting out of this inning. Here it is. Change up, another foul ball. This will land just short of the trees. Matter of fact, it landed so far from the trees, McCluskey had a shot at that.
Yeah, Matt was really booking it over there.
What full acceleration?
Demback's fouled 3 ones to that right side. He's clearly late.
Definitely giving JJ a run for his money. Wearing him out even further. Let's see if JJ can finally put an end to this. Here is the pitch. That is low. And the count is now full. As the umpire collects a couple of baseballs, considering he just lost a couple of them for good. Not sure if anyone's going to go into the trees to get those balls.
Yeah, usually we don't see that.
I guess we could if we really wanted to.
Yeah, why not? We can go over there right now.
And the payoff pitch is just low, and JJ loads the bases.
Yeah, it's a tough one for him, too, because he thought that was the end of the inning.
Definitely was not happy. Whether it be at himself or the close call, but nonetheless, Matt Novoski will try to expand Garnet Valley's 6-run lead, and he almost does. He fouled that high to the top of the screen.
Yeah, I think that screen and that little cage that's around home plate has probably saved a few pop-ups. We've seen a couple hit the roof of that.
It has. It does remind you of some Little League action, if I dare say.
Absolutely.
Second pitch is high, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Mavoski. Garnet Valley entered today 7-7 overall, 6-7 in their respective conference. As that pitch is popped up. Nick Deal will settle underneath this one and makes the catch. And the inning is finally over, and Unionville will finally get a chance to bat, but not before Garnet Valley takes on 3 more to their lead. It's 7-1 Jaguars. We head to the 4th. Unionville will try to rage a comeback. And we're back, top of the fourth here in Unionville baseball. Nick Deal, the first baseman, the first batter here at the top of the fourth for the Longhorns, trying to get something going. Hopefully stage a comeback as they're down 7-1. And he hammers that. Popped up high, shallow, and it's caught. The shortstop, Drew Van Horn, made the catch on that play, and Drew Doncalo now will step up. And a pop-up, potentially an out saved by the screen there.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Drew got under that one, and I mean, he seems to do that a lot, just popping the ball up, and one thing I want to see from him is just staying over top of these pitches and focusing more on line drive contact rather than hitting one for the fences.
That's where he
Hasn't really worked out for him, as he does have a batting average below 250, as that pitch nearly gets a piece of him.
Yeah, but as Nick said, the first at-bat, much simpler approach, resulted in a double. See if he can do that again.
That pitch is low. One of the two hits the Longhorns had after Regane scored on the sac fly by Matson, but they were unable to capitalize on those two runners. And Doncalo hammers that into deep center field, and it's misread by Nelson, and Doncalo's going to get another double out of this. He'll stop at second, for they did get it in quickly. But nonetheless, another strong piece of hitting by the starting second baseman.
That's a good sign. Him really squaring a ball up right that. He hit that a long way. Not a great route by the center fielder, I'll say. Certainly took a weird route to that one. It looked like he took a few steps in first. That ball was smoked. But yeah, really good sign for Drew there getting on base. Now a chance to get on the board even past one.
Just better from Del Calo. Certainly could have been caught, but again, that's the type of contact you want to be seeing from him. Stayed on top of it and drove that ball, just like you want to do.
So Connor Brooks, now with a runner in scoring position and only one man down, will try to make something happen. Hard grounder, the third, and it gets by the third baseman into left field down the line. Drew Doncalo will score from second, an RBI double for Brooks, and it's now a 7-2 ball game. Unionville gets one back.
And Connor is another guy who's starting to look a lot better. Both him and Drew seem to be slow in the beginning of the year, but they've really picked up their bats, and they're going to be interesting pieces off the bench, potentially, for Unionville in the playoffs.
Another guy who could very well see step up in the playoffs, the starting catcher, Sean Regane. Same position, runner on second. Takes that in there for a strike.
I think Sean will probably be, instead of catcher, be playing in one of the corner outfield spots in the playoffs.
More than likely, but that won't mean his bat goes away.
Not at all.
That's a changeup that got away from him, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, and it looks like Drew is going to start to warm up here in the pen with Stevie. So it looks like JJ's day might be done.
As we mentioned, Stevie Thomas typically is the starting catcher, but he is getting designated hitter roles to try to rest his legs and arm a little bit more. Sean has proved to be more than capable of a catcher as well. His bat's proved so well, they inserted him in the starting lineup as an outfielder.
And a lot has to do with the fact that he's not your typical catcher, big, slow guy behind the plate. He's very agile and athletic and quick.
That pitch is in there, so he's got 2 strikes on him. Well, there's also 3 balls. It's a payoff count. Brooks takes his lead off second. Pitch is foul to the back. To see the bottom of the lineup doing things here for the Longhorns. And that is grounded foul. Hit the pole.
I think with these guys getting to see Shiras one time through the order, they're kind of used to his stuff by the second at bat, seeing him a little bit better.
That was a mound visit, hopefully to try to calm Shiras, who has just given up 3 runs. That pitch is low. Not sure if it's just nerves as he starts to lose a little bit of his command. That pitch is in there for a strike.
Yeah, good to see the guys back in the game though. After that last thing, definitely looked a little bit out of it.
Definitely known to pick up the pace when their pitcher is starting to fall short sometimes. Unionville backing up JJ. Here's the 2-2. That's low. Trying to get him with the off-speed. The off-speed went to the dirt. And now it's a full count. Outside ball 4. McCluskey walks, and that's 2 on for the leadoff man, Jack Reganet.
That's a good at-bat for McCluskey there. Took a lot of close pitches, especially with 2 strikes to earn himself a walk. Leave another visit.
And that's going to do it for Shiras. He goes 3 1/3. He's so far given up 4 earned runs. Is responsible for Sauerbaum and McCluskey on second and first, respectively. Shiras will head to the dugout as he concludes his senior day. And yes, it is senior day here at Garnet Valley High School, which explains the balloons, the pregame celebrations, and of course the faces of all the Garnet Valley seniors just outside the right field wall.
Yeah, don't know if we had that. Got cutouts of their faces in right field.
We had posters amongst the track.
Yeah, they
just
have
on the third base side.
They have some too.
Do they?
You're over there by the families and other fans.
No. I think ours were better.
Oh yeah, no, ours were a lot better.
Well, the only reason you're saying that is because there was one of you.
So, mine looked cool.
Got you in action.
By the way, we do have some changes here in the Garnet Valley defense. As Frank Yukon, the right fielder, comes into the mound to pitch. We have yet to see who takes over at right in Yukon's stead to come into the game for Sam Shiras, who pitched well through the first 3 innings, but then he gives up 3 earned runs here in the 4th. Is in line to give up more.
Yeah, also in line for a win. I mean, up until this inning we're in now, he was actually pretty good. But Unionville has strung together their base runners, and that's exactly how you stage a comeback.
So the dust settles. It's a 7-4 Garnet Valley lead. Jack Reganet will step up. For those of you just joining us, there's only 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning, a 7-4 game. Runners on first and second. Sauerbaum on second, McCluskey on first. Yukon's first pitch, a fastball in there for a strike. Johnson setting from the stretch. Fires off speed outside. Another pitch outside. And it's 2-1 to Jay Riggs. That's another off speed there.
Yeah, just got to keep the line moving here.
Pitch is popped up. Van Horn makes the catch for the second out.
That's a big out number 2 if you are Garnet Valley. I mean, that's a problem at the dish with Jack Regany, and they're able to get him out without any advance.
And so Sean Matson will try to keep this Unionville offensive train rolling with 2 outs and 2 on. Hammered out to left center field, and it's going to be caught by Zappolo out in left for out number 3. Unionville does tack on 3 more, answering what Garnet Valley put on last inning. But they're still down 3 in a 7-4 game. We head to the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back. And we're back all set to kick off the bottom of the 4th inning here at Garnet Valley High School. Them and the Longhorns clashing off. It's 7-4 Garnet Valley to this point. Pitching change for the Longhorns as Drew Alcalo, who played at second base for the first 3 innings, steps onto the mound for the Longhorns.
And the thing I'm looking for Drew to do here is to keep the ball down, because he does have a tendency to miss up when he throws hard.
Alcalo, this is his 5th appearance of the season. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 1.91. Has showed flashes of speed with this fastball in his recent appearances. When I say that, I mean the last time he pitched was a couple of weeks ago in the game against Downingtown East.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but I mean, a lot of that has to do with guys like Carter and Matson who haven't needed relievers.
Right, haven't needed much help.
That pitch is hammered out to center field. Regane is under it, and he makes the catch for out number 1. And so Potts is retired, and now it's Grant Batch. Another thing on the defensive change with Alcalo moving from second to pitcher. Tiernan Daly, number 2, comes out to play second base. J.J. Williams heads to the bench. His day is done.
Over under $100 the Garnet Valley manager would pay to get Jack out of center for anybody else.
Probably over.
Right. I'd probably agree.
Considering quietly how well Regane has done. Though don't take away the diving catch he had in the the second inning.
After Jack made that diving play to end the inning last inning, the manager, the other team, the Garnet Valley's manager, got his attention and said, "Hey, next time, could you just start running the other way? Just go the opposite way. Just give the ball a head start for us."
Williams went 3 innings, gave up 7 runs. 4 of those runs were earned. Correction, 3 of those runs were earned. Snap pitch is in the dirt, and it's now 2-1 to Grant Botch, the starting catcher.
Delcalo really testing Regane behind the plate there. Sean's doing a nice job, though.
And there's ball 4. So after getting a quick out, his command goes a little bit wild, and he gives up a walk.
But I'm glad he's missing down instead of throwing it above Sean's head, if anything.
There was a warm-up pitch he threw above Sean's head, so I think he's actively trying not to make that mistake again. And now Colin Simmons, So here's Colin Simmons, who came in relief. He took Shiro's place in the lineup and went to right field as UConn went to the mound. Do have a courtesy runner over at first. I believe that is number 12, Carter Wilson. It's a swing and a foul tip or a miss. Regardless, it's 0-1 to Simmons. Delcalo checking back on Wilson at first base. And now we'll turn his attention to Simmons. Sets from the stretch. Wilson takes off the pitch in there, and the throw a bit off from Regane. So a stolen base for Wilson.
Good jump there by Wilson. Not much of a chance for Sean to get him even with a perfect throw.
And so now a runner in scoring positions for Simmons with 1 man down. That pitch is outside, and it's 2-1. Delcalo not missing by much. The one issue he had earlier in the season was accuracy. And it has resurfaced a bit as there's a ground to the first. Nick Deal will field this. And he had to flip to Delcalo. And it was just in the nick of time to get Simmons at first base.
Yeah,
Yikes.
looked like maybe Deal should have taken that one himself. Let's see, he's just smiling over there at first.
Deal did go a little slow to the back. Perhaps that's why he had to flip at the last minute. Regardless, there's 2 outs for Matt Zappolo with a runner on third.
Let's get a clean inning here.
Despite being 2 outs, Nick Deal playing in the infield grass. Sour ball not too far from it.
That's a heck of a block by Regane. I don't think the backstop is deep enough to score a run should one get by him, but you still like to see it.
Definitely prepare yourself for situations where you don't have as short of a backstop, like our home turf. 2-0 to count. That pitch was high and away.
Yeah, and he's behind 0-2 here, but this is a big at bat for Drew and for the Longhorns in general. Keep this one at 3.
We're going to having to do a lot of moving and stretching to get those balls and ensure nothing gets away. That one bounced from him a little bit as that pitch bounced in the dirt, and it's 3-0, and Delcalo knows he is not doing his best with his command.
Yeah, really making Sean work right there. Just, if I'm Drew, just trying to get one in there to know how it feels.
Instead, he misses low and outside, ball 4, and that puts runners on the corners. Drew Van Horn, the starting shortstop, will step up to the plate. Despite Dalcalo's recent struggles with his commands, there are 2 outs, and he can still get out of this very quickly. Checking back on Zappolo at first to ensure he doesn't take second and take a force out of the equation.
Yeah, Drew's got a pretty nice move over to first.
Definitely something you like to see. Sets in the stretch, fires. High. Having to go up and get that is Regane.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem with a runner coming home from third, but don't be surprised if one takes off for second if a pass ball is made here.
Dalcalo trying to get out of this without giving up a run. And making the Unionville offense have to work even more to come back from this deficit, which currently sits at 3 runs. Checks back Zappolo in efforts to do that. Now turns his attention to the batter. Second pitch to Van Horn is high, ball 2. And there's another one in the dirt. Drew really struggling with his command here, guys.
Yeah, he's been skipping the ball in there almost every pitch. You know, I mentioned earlier, we see him miss high a lot today. It's been the opposite. It's been down.
Try to elevate this pitch just a little bit here. Well, he did elevate it a little too much. That's high for ball 4, and the bases are now loaded. And that's the 8th straight ball that Drew Dalcalo has thrown. And now assistant coach Chris Gebhardt will go out and give Dalcalo a little visit.
Yeah, and Garnet Valley has had more base runners and more opportunities to score, but it's a 3-run game, so this one is still plenty close for Dalcalo to get out of.
Jeremy Sauerbaum throwing out there with Stevie Thomas out on the left field side.
Yeah, I don't believe he's made a pitching appearance this year, but I feel like I've seen him before when we did the scrimmage game.
Head coach Chris Fallis said that the door is open for anyone out there to get an opportunity on the mound.
Yeah, and in an out-of-conference game, why not? Why not give him a chance?
They gave a chance for J.J. Williams. He gave up 7 runs in 3 innings. Dalcalo gets his first pitching chance in 2 weeks, and he's on the verge of giving up something with the bags loaded.
Yep, just like that every time.
First pitch to Nelson is in there for a strike. Second pitch went right back to the dirt, and it's 1-1 strike to Logan Nelson, the starting center fielder. Low and outside, 2-1. Wilson at third, Zappolo at second, and Van Horn at first, and it's now 2-1. That pitch was outside. Or scratch that, 2-2. That pitch was in the zone. Dalcalo 1 pitch away, winds up and fires. Outside, 3-2.
Just got one more good one here. If you're Dalcalo, give me one more.
See if he can get one more fastball in the zone. Sets up straight, winds up and fires the payoff pitch. Hammering out into left field foul. Nearly hit one of the fans' dogs.
Yeah, that ball was ripped. Lucky that's not fair. We'll try again.
Nelson got a good piece of that, but of course he got that a little too early. And we'll try this tangle again, the payoff pitch. All three runners will take off here, as they did last time. Round two, here we go. High, and Alcala walks in a run. And Chris Vallis is going to come out to Del Calo, who clearly is not happy, especially now that the ball is going to be taken from him, and he's done after just 2/3 of an inning, and Jeremy Sauerbaum is going to take the mound.
Drew to third, it looks like.
2/3 of an inning, Del Calo goes, nearly gets out of it, but he winds up walking 3 straight batters to not get a run. Del Calo will move to third base for his efforts. And Jeremy Sauerbaum will get his first try as a pitcher this season. And so with that bases loaded walk, Garnet Valley extends their lead to 8-4. Sauerbaum will conclude his warm-ups. Until then, we'll be right back. And Sauerbaum concludes his warm-ups, and we're back here with some Unionville baseball. Sauerbaum's first pitch is high. Unionville trying some new guys here on the mound. Jeremy Sauerbaum, who typically comes off the bench as a utility infielder, will have a chance to pitch here. Starts out going 2-0 against the pitcher Frank Yukon.
Been a long time since UConn's taken the mound as well. So let's get out of this.
Indeed he has. He's gotten a lot of time to rest. Matter of fact, hasn't stepped up for a while now, so. Although despite that, he has had a plate appearance in each inning.
Yeah, that's not a good thing if you're the Longhorns. He played 4 innings. He's gotten 4 at-bats now.
2 straight pitches down the middle for Sauerbaum. You got Matt Cepolo on third, Drew Van Horn at second, Logan Nelson at first. And there's ball 4. And so another bases loaded walk, and it's now 9-4. Sauerbaum didn't miss by much, but he did miss. And now, here's Jack Dembach. First pitch is in there for a strike. The second pitch, swung on and missed.
And that was a nice pitch.
Indeed it was. And then there's a grounder past the diving Matson in the left field, a base hit. Scoring from third is Van Horn, rounding third, heading for home. So I believe Nelson and RBI. Sorry, a two-run single by Dembach, and it's now 11-4. So Garnet Valley has taken back what Unionville made up last inning. And with all coming in 2 outs, they have added 4 more runs. Sauerbaum checks back at second. That's where Frank Yocum is running.
And Garnet Valley starting to actually cash in these base runners, which is not a good sign for Unionville.
First pitch is outside, 1-0. Matt Bavoski, the starting first baseman for the Jaguars. Grounder to second. Daly's got this one. Throw to first is in time, and the inning is finally over for the Longhorns. After going through 2 pitchers and giving up 4 runs on a couple of bases-loaded walks and then a 2-run single. We head to the 5th. Unionville's got a lot of ground to make up here. It's 11-4 Jaguars. And we're back. Unionville baseball here, top of the 5th. Stevie Thomas set to face Frank Yukon. High fly ball, the right side foul.
Yeah, home run distance that time, just couldn't keep it straight.
Stevie wants to hit a home run for sure.
Tell you, he was going for another one of those right field off the wall triples.
The right field wall is quite high. Not just because the wall is higher than the left field wall in terms of how much wall is there, but also the hill definitely elevates it a little bit. Takes a pitch down the middle. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Stevie Thomas. Thomas is 0 for 2. He has flown out twice. That pitch is in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Stevie. Alex, he did miss a couple early on. Do you think this is the game he gets one, or does he focus on more of a ground ball kind of hitting style again?
Well, not that time, but, you know, I don't know. This hasn't really been Unionville's day. Well,
indeed it hasn't after winning 8 of their last 9. Definitely struggling today as Thomas strikes out swinging on a pitch in the dirt. And there's one away for Nick Deal. Deal, who walked and popped out today, set to face Yukon for the first time. Yukon. First pitch is outside. Second pitch is also low. And so a quick 2-0 count to Nick Deal.
And if Unionville puts together a couple of runs here, I mean, they're still right back in this, even though Garnet Valley's had so much more time offensively. They're not up as many runs.
I'll have to see if the pitching backs that up as Deal takes a strike. Nick Deal will step out of the batter's box trying to get something going. Hasn't done too much with his bat as of late. Grounder down the first base line, foul.
That's a good sign, though. Loud contact.
Deal proved himself as a heavy, hard contact hitter. Had a bunch of extra base hits earlier in the season, including a home run in the second game against Henderson. Has since struggled and has even lost the starting first baseman role. Outside, 3-2.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, Will. I mean, with the playoffs coming up, whether it'll be Ben or Deal over there at first base.
Also, whether Nick Deal pitches, that's a good question to ask, too. As he rips that into right field, a base hit.
He's helping his cause there.
Again, as we mentioned, Nick announced the hard contact, showing that promise, and now he got a good pitch and ripped it in a good spot.
Well, he looked on the last one that he fouled off, so if anything, they should have seen that one coming.
And now here's Drew Del Calo, who's 2 for 2. He's doubled twice today.
Yeah, obviously the pitching performance kind of lowered Drew's game a little bit, but don't take anything away from his bat, because he's been on.
We'll have to see what his mental state allows him to do at the plate as he swings and misses at that one.
Line drive right up the middle, just like last time.
Was a bit of a line drive, except it goes foul. Del Calo has struggled for most of the season at the plate, but today is really starting to make a turnaround.
Right, and if you're going to get hot, do it now with the playoffs right upon us. Get out at the right time.
Yoakum from the stretch fires, and Del Calo fouls it off. Didn't get too far from the catcher, but it did bounce foul, so it doesn't matter. Going back to first base is Nick Deal. And a swing and a miss, and Deal strikes out. Sorry, Del Calo strikes out. Deal goes back to first, and now Connor Brooks with 2 outs.
Brooks another double machine.
1 for 2. He did double his last time up. He also popped out his first time up. Takes low, ball 1.
Wasn't his first about a ground out? Might not have been.
Maybe. Of course, that's not what Brooks has to remember. What he has to remember is trying to get contact similar to what he had his last time up. Perhaps get something going here and build back on what is currently a 7-run deficit.
And watch third and first, because he likes to shoot them down the lines.
Pitch to Brooks was in there, just below the shoulders for a strike. So now that he see one, do you think he goes after this one?
Well, if it's good, I let him rip it.
Yeah, he does rip it, except it's a pop out to first base. And it is caught by Mavoski over at first base, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit, and a man left for the Longhorns. And we're back with some more Unionville baseball here at the bottom of the fifth inning between the Longhorns and the Jaguars. It's an 11-4 Jaguars lead for those who are just joining us. Jeremy Sauerbaum goes back to work after finishing up the bottom of the fourth in relief of Drew Dalcalo, whom, despite pitching two-thirds, walked a bunch of batters. Was unable to get out of it. Sauerbaum begins this with a ground to short. Matson throws it accurately this time for out number one.
Yep, good to see from Matson, getting out of his head there, making a nice play. Just like we're used to seeing.
So here's Grant Batch, the starting catcher.
See if Jeremy can provide some quick outs.
Sauerbaum did give up a bases-loaded walk and a two-run single, but did get the last out in the bottom of the fourth. Hopefully something cleaner here in the fifth, as he gets started with a 1-1 count to the starting catcher for Garnet Valley.
Yeah, and if Jeremy can get some outs here, I mean, he's already got a nice base hit, and this game be a nice one for him to take home.
Bit of a weird ground to the third off the glove of Dalcalo, and it will bounce into left field. Not sure if it'll go down as a fielding error or a base hit, but regardless, Ratbatch gets aboard.
Yeah, it's a tough play, kind of a tweener hop. Drew got caught in the back pedal and wasn't able to make the play. Error or not, tough one.
Carter Wilson will take over, a courtesy runner for the catcher. Second time he's coming today as a courtesy runner. So here's the first courtesy runner of the day, Colin Simmons, stepping up to the plate. Came into the game full time at right field, subbing in for Sam Shiras, the initial starting pitcher, after the starting right fielder Frank Ucom went to the mound. And he starts out with a 2-0 count.
See if we can get a ground ball here.
A double play would be nice here. It's 3-0 to count to Simmons. Sauerbaum staying in the stretch. Looks at Regany. Sets. But won't fire as time is called. And we're back. Sauerbaum checking first. Looks to Simmons and fires. Just high. And there's ball four. So two straight base runners given up by Sauerbaum. And that will bring up Matt Zappolo, the starting left fielder. With two runners on, one out. Grounder to third. That's Dalcalo in the left field. And that will drop for a hit. The throw goes to the third. Dalcalo tried to cut it off, but couldn't. Won't matter regardless, as that's an RBI single for Zappolo. Simmons goes to second. And Botch scores on the play. So it's now 12-4. Sorry to clear up some confusion. So we're back to the same situation as we were last time. That was an RBI single. And now here's Drew Van Horn. Van Horn, who made a nice play at short back in the second, has had a nice day at the plate as well. There's a rip shot not too far from the scoreboard. It lands foul. McCluskey tried to go after it, but just decided, no, I'm not going to get that ball. And I could still see it all the way out there in front of the scoreboard.
Yeah, that was absolutely killed. Lucky.
Got all the way to the hill. There's a chopper to first. Nick Deal has it. He'll flip to Sauerbaum for the out. Both runners advance on the play, however. Simmons goes to third. Zappolo goes to second. So now with 2 in scoring position and 2 outs, here's Logan Nelson.
Yeah, swung over a ball at his head. That time, nice big hop for Deal. No play at second. Takes the easy one at first. The shore out at first, that is.
Got a little too much over top. So now Sauerbaum 1 out away from getting out of this one. Liner off the glove of Sauerbaum. Matson has to play this quickly. And neither of them actually make the play. Regan has to throw to the plate. It's a good throw. And Zappolo is out at the plate. And so Regane, once again with his glove and his arm actually this time, was able to finish up the inning. And he may be the reason why this game isn't a double-digit lead. Regardless, however, Simmons did score on that play. It's an RBI single, and it's now 13-4 Garnet Valley. So with that said, we head to the 6th. Yoakum and the Jaguars will go back to work. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to see some Unionville baseball. Top of the 6th now between the Longhorns and the Jaguars. The score is now 13-4. Jack Regane kept it from being 14-4 on a beautiful throw from center field to Nab Zappolo. Regane to Regane, if I dare say so myself. Speaking of Regane, here's Sean Regane at the plate. Takes that pitch in the dirt, ball 1. It is a 9-run lead for the Jaguars, however.
I forget what the rules are, but I think we could be close to a mercy.
I believe it's 7. And if they don't cut the deficit to below 7 by the end of the inning, the game will end. They are down by 9, so they need to score at least 3 to keep this game going. Regane, a soft grounder back to Yoakum at the mound. Missed the tag. Throws to first, not in time. Regane using his athleticism to get aboard. Beautiful hustle by the younger Regane. Not only avoiding the tag, but getting the first on time for an infield single. Of course, that's all the running he'll do for now, as he'll be replaced by courtesy runner Grant Heineman.
Yeah, good job by Sean as well to avoid the initial tag. Man, I thought that him kind of running off into foul territory there would have made him out, but able to leg it out anyway.
Looked like Billy Hamilton out there.
Yeah, a little
in that
juke.
base running play he made against the Cubs a couple of years ago. Jeremy Sauerbaum is up. He had a hit earlier today, looking to do something similar with the runner on.
Yeah, funny enough, Sean's actually a big Reds fan. He liked Billy Hamilton.
Heineman takes off, and the throw to second is not in time, and that's stolen base number 15 on the season for Grant Hindman. Jack Reganet smiling and giving the thumbs up for his fellow speedy teammate. Reganet himself has 31. Oh, sorry, 30 on the year. He'll get 31 eventually. Regardless, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jeremy Sauerbaum. Hyman takes off again, pitches outside, throw to third, is in time to get Hyman. And so he gave it a little too much there, and that's out number 1. Hyman just walks back after being caught. And then Sauerbaum winds up striking out. Swing and a miss there. And so it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jeremy Sauerbaum. And then he fouls that back. Correction for the confusion, there was some mishaps on the scoreboard's part.
Yeah, I don't really love that steal call for the Longhorns. They say never make the first or third out of the inning at third, and that's what happens there.
Definitely were greedy to get a run quickly. And it results in getting 2 outs as Sauerbaum strikes out swinging. Went for a pitch close to the dirt. And now Matt McCluskey will step up for the Longhorns. First pitch is in there for a strike. And Shiras, after struggling in the 4th inning, Unionville thought they had some momentum, but Yoakum has come in and shut all of that down. He has given up nothing to this point as that pitch is inside.
Yeah, he's been really good, and as you said, Will, at the end of Shiras' start, Unionville was right in the game, and now they're close to being blown out.
2 balls and 1 strike to count to Matt McCluskey, the starting right fielder. And a big swing and a miss. McCluskey definitely has proven potential with his bat. His fellow teammates love what they saw in a preseason game against Radnor. He had a double. Hasn't been able to replicate that as he takes that pitch inside. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Matt McCluskey. And there's strike 3. And that retires the side. And I believe that is game. Yes, the mercy rule was in effect. Unionville did not get the runs they needed, so the game will end early by a final score of 13-4. Garnet Valley jumping on Unionville as a whole. And oh, scratch that. Wait, what the heck is going on? Oh, scratch what I just said. They are going to continue the game. So they won't put the mercy rule in effect in this situation. I guess the lead must not be big enough.
I think a lot of it has to do, Will, at times with how long these games are, because I think we're closing in on 2 hours, but nothing too crazy yet.
Yeah, nothing too crazy yet indeed. So we will continue this game. And stay tuned. We will be right back. And we're back, and so to clarify some confusion for those of you who have been watching, the mercy rule was not 7 runs, it was 10. That's a mistake on our part. I apologize. It's only a 9-run deficit, so we will continue this game. Unionville has a new pitcher on the mound. It's number 8, Ben Kirkland, who made an appearance in the senior day game against Conestoga. He pitched 1 1/3 clean innings, got a 4-out save. And the first pitch is in there for a strike to Yukon.
And not only did Ben get a save, he actually got out of a jam.
Indeed he did. That pitch is hit out to left field. Connor Brooks is underneath that and he makes the catch. There have been other changes in the field for the Longhorns as well. Number 16, Max Pellegrino comes into the game to play right field. And number 21, Zach Gaza comes in to play first base. McCluskey and Dio both leave the game.
Yeah, and well, when you empty the bench, it either means you're winning by a lot or losing by a lot. Unfortunately, Unionville on the wrong side of things this afternoon.
They've done the same in the games where they got smacked against Avongrove, Coatesville, and a game against Oxford. They did it in blowout victories against Great Valley and Bishop Shanahan, and now today against Garnet Valley. After 2 straight balls by Kirkland, the next pitch is in there for a strike. And that pitch is in the third 3-1 by the man whom I believe has the wackiest and best intro song when he steps up to the plate at home games.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun.
That pitch is fouled to the right side all the way out to the grass, to the trees. How many balls have we seen go there?
Yeah, I feel like we haven't had as many foul balls to the left side. They've all been to the right.
And he loops that. Past Kirkland. Matson has to make a tough play at short. The throw is just in time to get Jack Demback. What a play by Sean Matson. A bit of a redemption play, if I dare say, after making 4 errors at short earlier today.
Oh, what a play. And by Matson, bare hand, pick up Bars first, but give Zach Gaza some credit over there at first as well. It just came in and picked that one right out of the ground.
Indeed, it was a low throw by Matson. Gaza with an excellent scoop at first base. And so, believe it or not, we're 1 out away from a 1-2-3 frame. Matt Mavelski trying to stop that from happening as Kirkland throws the first pitch way low and way outside. A foul tip by Mavelski. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Kirkland back to the windup. Throws a changeup, and it's just inside ball 2.
Al, I got a question for you.
What's that?
So I think this is probably the worst we've seen the Longhorns look this year, other than maybe 13-1 loss to Coatesville, I think. Probably.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe a little bit of it is last game of the regular season? Playoffs are around the corner for this club. They had been playing so well. Maybe they looked past Garnet Valley a little bit and onto the playoffs, and that's why they're getting
Grounded
handed
to
to them
short.
today.
Matson makes an excellent throw to retire the sign.
Answer you when we get back.
That's a
Unlike
change, ladies
previous
and gentlemen.
innings, Matson's glove was a reason why Unionville gets out of this inning so quickly. For the first time, we had a 1-2-3 inning. Garnet Valley goes down 1-2-3. We head to the top of the 7th. Garnet Valley looks to shut the door on Unionville. For real this time. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back top of the 7th action here at Garnet Valley High School. Unionville trailing 13-4 against the Jaguars. Frank Yoakum taking the mound here in the 7th. As long as today's felt, this is, ironically enough, the beginning of only his 3rd full inning of work. Jack Reganet fouls that off, and it's now 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to what Nick asked me last inning of why the Longhorns have been a little slow today. I think, of course, it is because the playoffs are around the corner. That's what the bigger picture is. But also, I mean, remember, the Unionville Longhorns put out a lineup today that isn't particularly the usual one.
What you'll normally see, right?
Definitely had some new guys and some new spots. Reganet rips that out into left field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. So that's the 2nd hit of the day for Jay Regs, and the ball gets thrown to the side, and so he'll advance to second base. The throw by Nelson goes way off the market, and he takes second base.
Hey, sorry, well, you never know, right? Let's get this thing going.
I mean, comebacks are definitely possible. Let's see if we can get one right here. It would have to be a 9-run comeback. Sean Matson, the 2nd guy to step up for the Longhorns. Of course, for that to happen, Unionville would have to at least bat around. First pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. And then a big swing and a miss by Matson. A good off-speed pitch by Yoakum. And it's 1 ball. And it's 0-2 to Sean Matson. Reganet takes off, swing and a miss. Throw to third base. A collision at third.
That's good base coaching by Scott Hansen.
And indeed, Reganet is safe at third, so stolen base number 31 for Jack Reganet. And so he's at third. Stevie Thomas steps up to the plate now. Big swing and a miss by Thomas. And it's 0-1. And yes, Scott Hansen has come out as the third base coach for the Longhorns.
They're 1 for 2.
Hansen, typically a starter on this Unionville team, getting some rest for more important matchups in the coming days. Pitch is high. Thomas able to keep his swing in check. And it's 3-1. See if he gets something good here. Low ball 4. So Thomas gets aboard for the first time today. And Zach Gaza, who came in for Nick Deal, will step up to the plate. Gaza had only 1 piece of hitting action this season. It was in the senior game against Conestoga. He did get a single in that game. Thomas takes off. That pitch is low. They don't want to test Reganet's speed at third, and so Thomas steals second base.
And look at that. Well, I don't know if you heard, Will, earlier in the game, Stevie told Jack before we started that to make sure he doesn't get on in front of him because he wanted to get his first stolen base, and there you go.
Well, I mean, Jack got in front of him, and he still got the stolen base. As Gaza fouls that to the back. The dugout hyped for their hitter, Zach Gaza. Didn't feel too great about that last swing. It's 1 ball and 1 strike as Yoakum sets up in a standard position. Fires. Outside, 2-1 to Zach Gaza. pitch is fouled back. Gaza not feeling too good about that. Little too far underneath that ball. Gaza, as big of a guy as he is, hasn't shown as much power as we had hoped. As that changeup barely gets a piece of his arm, and the bases are loaded for Drew Dalcalo. How about this, ladies and gentlemen?
I think the bench liked that one. Gaza just, it got the smallest piece of him, too.
Ever. Smallest piece it could possibly get.
His jersey
It nicked his jersey, yeah.
It looked like he was unsure if that hit him or not, too.
Drew Dalcalo with the bases loaded, swings and misses. Dalcalo is 2 for 3. He has 2 doubles, and he struck out his last time up. There's a shot into left field, and it's going to be caught. Regane tags. The throw is good, but it won't get there in time. Regane being just too fast. He did miss the plate, but he still gets it, so a sacrifice fly for Drew Dalcalo. There's one away. It's now 13-5 Longhorns.
That was actually a pretty good throw by the left fielder. Jack just got under the catcher's tag there. May have had a chance at him.
Despite not throwing out a hitter, Soloway has made some good throws from left field today. Oh, scratch that. There are 2 outs. Sorry. So, yeah, last out for the Longhorns. It's Connor Brooks stepping up to the plate. And he fouls that off to the back.
Yeah, this has been a tough one for Unionville, but hey, you know, the playoffs, as I said earlier, that's the more important thing, and you can't let this one hold you back too much. Got to bounce back.
Right.
Brooks trying to get some momentum heading into the playoffs with one last hit as that pitch gets away from the catcher. And both Thomas and Gaza advance.
Yeah, and again, even if Unionville doesn't put together all the runs they need in this inning, if you get a couple here to just take something positive into the playoffs, I'm all for it.
And a rip down. It's going to be played by Van Horn at short. Throw to first is in time. And that does it, ladies and gentlemen. Final score today's game. Garnet Valley 13, Unionville 5. Garnet Valley putting an end to Unionville's 5-game winning streak. Of course, this game didn't matter too much. It was out of conference. Unionville playing most of their bench players today, trying some new stuff. Garnet Valley on their senior day get an impressive victory over the Longhorns.
Yeah, I mean, Unionville resting a lot of guys, and this was senior night for Garnet Valley, so a nice win for them, and again, Unionville with bigger things on the mind.
Yeah. Who do you think really made a good impression for Garnet Valley today?
So the 2 guys we saw today, Yoakum and, what was the other guy's name? Shiras.
Shiras, the pitcher?
Yeah, both of those guys were pretty good today. Especially Yoakum, who came in for relief, didn't allow anything except for that last sac fly we just saw. But yeah, I mean, if you're Garnet Valley, you've got some pieces, but again, Unionville, bigger things coming up.
Yoakum, I would definitely give the honors of player of the day too. He came in both at the plate and on the mound. On the mound, he was excellent, pitching 3 2/3. He pitched 3 2/3. Did not give up a single run. Pitched 3 2/3. He gave up 1 run just this inning. Was able to close out this game perfectly for the Jaguars. On Unionville's side, I'll give an honorable mention to Scott Hansen for being a good third base coach for the second half of today.
Yeah. 1 of 2. And seals the third.
1 of 2, of course, Hansen doing his job. But regardless, Unionville preparing for more important matchups. The playoffs are coming up. Unionville has indeed locked up a spot. So we'll see what happens in their coming playoff game. And when that playoff game happens, we'll be here with you to broadcast you some Unionville baseball. From all of us here at Garnet Valley High School, Alex Harkins and Nick Evans on the side, I'm Will Cunningham. And be sure to catch the next broadcast of Unionville baseball.